This is my simple everyday carry tech items that I can't live without. I'm not a tech guy, but I do love a good piece of tech. For example, this Yuba key. I bought this because one of my biggest fears is cyber hacks, getting locked out of my YouTube channel, my bank accounts. I don't know what I would do. So as an extra step of precaution, I heard about these Yuba keys. It's an extra layer that hackers have to go through in order to get into my stuff. I keep this in my keys at all times, and it is a nice little peace of mind. Plus it's very tiny, so it doesn't make my everyday carry any more bigger. But as you can see, good tech purchases can in fact improve your life. But just as an FYI, you are not going to see a digital watch. I am an absolute D1 hater of digital watches. Mechanical are so much better. But the closest I'll get to that is a Whoop. I've had this for a couple years now and I absolutely love it. This is a fitness wearable. I use this to track my sleep. It gives me in-depth metrics about my sleep and overall health. It goes over my REM cycle, my blood oxygen level, and my VO2 max, which is actually something that I've been lacking on. I consider myself a very healthy person, but because of the in-depth metrics that Whoop shows me, it pretty much still says that I need to lock in. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. In fact, Whoop just started offering blood work. So I went to a lab, got my blood work done, and they sent it directly to Whoop. We were able to go through everything, and my blood work pretty much shows that I am an absolute dog. Seriously, I am a pretty healthy person, and my blood work really reflects that. So again, this is just another piece of tech that I genuinely can't live without. Okay, now the most obvious thing we have to talk about is my iPhone. So I have the iPhone 17 Pro Max. I got it in this beautiful color. As you can see, I've been raw dogging it without a case, and it is finally catching up to me. I got a few scratches, not my fault. I honestly really do take care of my things, but there was one night where I had one too many to drink, and in the morning I saw a ton of scratches. So it is true what they say, this new iPhone, because of the aluminum, it gets scratched up very easily. So I am still looking to get a case, but overall I really don't have too many complaints with the new iPhone. The camera is fantastic. I surprisingly use the feature of the front camera being able to go horizontal. I use that a lot. Since I only have the Pro and not the Pro Max, I would give the battery life a 7 out of 10, but is it worth the upgrade? If you have the 16 or 15, I'd probably say no, but before this I had the 15 Pro Max and it was messing up, so I am definitely happy with the upgrade, but it's pretty much up to you. All right, we can't talk about the new iPhone without talking about the new AirPods. The AirPod Pro 3s have been my daily earphones, and seriously, these are so good. For some reason, right now, I have a ton of different pairs of earphones. I have the Bose, which I recently found. Funny enough, I only bought the AirPod Pro 3s because I thought I lost my Bose, but I found them. Now I have both. I also have the Samsung Bud 3s and then the AirPod Pro 2s. Just a combination of gifts and a few gift cards that I had lying around. Like I said, I have quite a bit of earphones, but by far the best one is AirPod Pro 3s. I swear I'm not actually glazing, but like I said, I'm not a tech guy, but there are plenty of reviews out there just showing that these are so much better than anything else. And from my personal experience, noise cancellation is fantastic. They're so comfortable to wear all day. And my biggest thing is the connection. I rarely lose connection with my iPhone, which is the most frustrating thing when it comes to earphones. And I don't have that problem with these. So for me, absolutely worth the money. But if I am feeling over-the-ear headphones, I'm going to use the Sony XM5s. I've had these for coming up on 2 years and they are still my favorite. In fact, I haven't found any reason to upgrade to the XM6s, but some of you guys in past videos have told me that they are really good. So maybe one day, but for right now, the XM5s are fantastic. They are the most comfortable over-the-ear headphones that I've had. I did try the AirPod Maxes for a little bit, and to me, the XM6 is clear. I'm not too well versed into headphones, so if you do know something outside of Sony or Apple, let me know, because I am willing to try something new. One thing that I've been loving in my everyday carry is an AI voice recorder. Tons of people have been talking about this because you could record conversations and use GPT to play back, make keynotes, and highlight some of your conversations. I actually got this one from Soundcore, which is the sponsor of today's video. This is just one of those items that you will be so happy you have when you need it. In this channel, I always talk about learning new things, having interesting conversations, but there is no point in doing that if you are just gonna forget everything that you've talked about, which is again, why I love this piece of tech so much. Being able to record and use AI to help you better understand lessons you've learned from conversations and presentations is such a game changer. The microphone is so unbelievably small. In fact, it's literally the size of a coin, and it's so convenient because it charges up right on this deck, and then the magnets make it easy to keep on you, or if you want to wear it as a necklace, it has little accessories to do that as well. And I also love the feature to make notes on certain parts of the conversation. All you have to do is double tap, and when you use the playback feature, you can see exactly where you made those notes. So if it's something that you really want to remember, or if you just had an aha moment, double click and you'll know exactly where to go back to. And from personal experience, it's a lot better to have this rather than just shoving your phone in someone's face whenever you're trying to have a conversation. Honestly, if I had this thing, I would probably be a much better student when I was in school. So if you're interested in trying this out, you could use the first link in the description. Using this link will give you 6 months of the Pro trial that offers more memory, and they currently have a sale running until November 19th, but starting starting November 20th. There's a Black Friday sale and you can find this for 20% off. Like I said, boys, it's gonna be the first link in the description. All right, the next part of my tech everyday carry is my keys and wallet. Like I said, it's all about the subtle upgrades. For me, one thing that I can't live without are items to make sure that I never lose these things. So first thing we're talking about is the pocket organizer. You've heard me talk about this plenty of times. It is so much better to have your keys organized and in one place. That way it's not scrambling around. And if you keep it in the same pocket as your phone, it's not gonna scratch up your phone either. I really like this one from Journey because this one actually has Find My built right into it. My thought process is if somebody stole my keys, if they see an AirTag, they're just gonna toss it. But looking at my keys how they are, you would never be able to tell that they are being tracked. I don't know, call me paranoid, but I really do love this purchase, and considering it's still less than $100, I recommend this to everybody. Second thing is a tracking card. This is literally just a tad bit bigger than a credit card, goes straight into your wallet, and you can make sure that you never lose it. And it's a lot better than an AirTag because AirTags are obviously very bulky. You can get this from any brand. I have mine from Eufy. One thing that I just bought is a 2-in-1 screen cleaner. I've been made fun of one too many times for having a dirty screen, so finally bought this thing. It has a spraying cleaning solution, and in the same device, you just wipe it down just like that, your phone is clean. This was less than 10 bucks and it's an item that I use every single day. All right, the next few items I don't carry on me, but they are still pieces of tech that I use every single day. So if we're talking about my workstation, first thing we have to talk about is my Apple Mac Mini. This is the base model, but it still does me so right. It's only lagged on me a few times when editing longer videos in 4K, but overall no complaints with this thing, especially considering the price. This was literally a quarter price of my huge PC, but tech obviously outdates very quickly. So I've only had this for like 6 months now. And again, absolutely love this purchase. 500 bucks, and I've been able to do so much with this thing. My most recent purchase for my workstation is this BenQ monitor. This thing is so nice. And it's one of those things that nobody ever thinks to buy, but having this has definitely made it so much better to work here, especially at night. It's a lot less strenuous on your eyes having a monitor light. And this one has so many cool features, like it's able to detect whenever I leave my setup, and then the light automatically turns off, and then when it detects me back, then it turns back on. And it comes with this little remote that's completely wireless, and I'm able to control absolutely everything. The next thing I love having in my workstation is a charging station. This one again is from Anchor. Like I said, so goated. But this has a MagSafe charger, which is the primary thing that I use. In fact, I have a little rule in my head that whenever I put this on, I am not allowed to touch my phone for a certain amount of time. And now for my absolute most recent purchase is a new keyboard. Again, my last one got made fun of way too much, so I caved in, did a little bit of research. And by research, I mean, I just looked up on TikTok or YouTube, watched a couple videos, and I think this is the best one I could find for under 100 bucks. It sounds quite nice as well. I've only had this for a few days, but 100% loving it. Next upgrade I do need would be another mouse. So again, any recommendations? I would very much appreciate that. If you're trying to get into content creation, here are a few things that would help you out. I always get questions about what camera I use. I use a Sony ZV-E10, and I'm always so surprised that people ask me that because this camera is so basic. I do need to upgrade to something better, but this is pretty much the best entry-level camera you can get. Sony's fantastic. I've had no complaints. It shoots in 4K, so it is quite nice. I also get questions about the microphone that I use. I have the Wireless Go from Rode. I think it sounds quite nice, so it definitely was money well spent. But that being said, if you want to get into content creation, you don't have to drop a ton of money. Nowadays, you could really do a lot with just an iPhone. In fact, I've been making a lot more Instagram Reels, so follow me on Instagram if you haven't already, but all of my shorts have been filmed with my iPhone. Now, like I said, this video was entirely just tech, but if you want to see the everyday carry that I would carry to school, then here's a video to show you exactly that.